Yo, welcome back to another episode of Filling the Gap. You got me and Pops here.
What's going on, people?
Whoop de whoop.
Clap,
So this
clap.
is our second video out on YouTube. If you don't know, now you're about to know. This is Filling the Gap. This is our mission statement. Filling the Gap is dedicated to bridging disparities and creating equitable opportunities for all individuals. We believe our mission is to identify and address gaps in various domains. We strive to empower individuals and communities, ensuring that no one is left behind. And together we can fill the gap and build a brighter future for all.
For everybody.
Everybody.
Every last one of us.
Everybody, you get a bright future.
And we grateful that you all are chiming in, checking us out. Listen, we value you. Continue to DM us. Thank you for all the positive words that you've been sharing.
Right.
Many of you have been reaching out, telling us how much you have valued these podcasts. So today we're going to talk about value.
Value. I see what he did there. He did a little. See how much y'all value. So he threw it in there under the radar. Y'all didn't even catch it. Yeah.
Yeah, value. What's important, what you hold to be true, useful, that brings what? Brings
value.
Value.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
go.
That's how you know
Sound
when
like
you be in
Sesame
class.
Street. Yeah, like Sesame Street. Sounded off value.
No, that's that moment when you in class and the teacher is like, so what's the answer? And you think you know it, but you don't know it. So you like hesitate to say it because you don't want to get it wrong.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But what do you hold value to you? What's value to you?
Value. Friends, family, community, conversations, relationships. I think those are like the most valuable things.
So why are they valuable to you? What defines something of value to you?
Something that you hold dear to your heart.
Okay.
That I can't let this go. Like this is something that I need to like go about my life. Like this is like the stuff that holds me down. Like
Gotcha.
I need this.
So your shoes got value?
They got value, but they're like material value.
Okay.
You know?
So there's a difference in what value can be in a person's life.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
some people hold their shoes at the number one.
Yeah. Some people hold you coming into the house and taking off them shoes more valuable than your shoes being on your feet.
Right.
You know
Right.
what
Their house is valuable.
Yeah. So everyone has different expectations when it comes to value.
Right.
And I think that's one of both is a commonality and a difference between our generations, because some things that we still hold valuable, this generation may not. For example, certain traditions.
Right.
We still hold to be valuable or carry value or weight, but this generation may be like, man, that ain't nothing. Y'all still hold on to that. Like don't go on the opposite side of a pole, or you're gonna have 7 years bad luck.
Oh, right.
Or
right.
don't certain things. That's one.
You know the one that's like, don't step on a crack, you break your mama's back.
Yeah. So okay, yeah. But then like nowadays, you guys, some I'm not gonna say you guys, but some people value the separation of food on a plate. When I just be like, mix it all together. Right. Because if they touch, if stuff food on the plate start touching, they don't want to eat it all. The whole demeanor is gone. So, I think there's differences in expectations of what is valuable to someone because of how they were raised, the environment they were raised in, what their morals and beliefs are. And I think a person's belief system carries a lot of weight on what they hold to be valuable in their life, or who's valuable in their life. Because you have moral values, you have Christian values. So, just like in the day they said you have book sense and then you have common sense or street sense. So each one carries a different level of value predicated on how much you know or how much you really hold dear to you. Right. Some people value what their mom say more than their dad, or they value more what their best friends say than their parents. So let me ask you that. So let's talk about that with this generation. Why do you think, that could possibly be the case where some people will hold more weight of what their friends say as value than their parents? This
is good. Because while you were talking, I was thinking about this. I feel like one of the reasons why I feel like that can take place, where someone values the input of their friend more than their parents, could be stemming from a level of trust.
Okay.
Right? To they trust their friend enough to say, "Oh, you love me. What you say, I'm going to do because you've shown me that trust." But I would say they choose the friend over the parent because in the household there could be a lack of love or a lack of pure relationship that shows the said person like what it really means to like love or trust. So that way, because like you take input from someone you value and you love because you know they mean you right and they're not going to do you wrong. So I'm like, I feel like trust and love kind of play into, you know, when we talk about like this value aspect of it.
But okay, so how would that work then? And that's good. How would that work then if, say, you got a 2-parent household or even a single parent household, that love is there. Everything is given, everything is shown, but yet the child or someone is able to pull them from that place of holding what their reverence for the house as valuable more than their friend. Could it be because of peer pressure? Could it be because of, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
I see what you're saying.
Even though, you know, a child, you know, can be brought up in a certain atmosphere, can be given the love, shown, I mean, everything, but still yet get pulled. Does it mean that they don't value what has been instilled, or could it be because there was more pressure of another value at that moment that kind of like took precedence?
For sure. It's for sure the presence of another value that took presence. Because when you think about a household that's loving, that's caring, that has given, you know, everything to show like this is our value, you know, lean into this. There's always the opposing side of, okay, even though this is the good stuff, this is a bad type of value that may try to swindle you to do whatever. And it goes to the, you know, back to the peer pressure, but it's still on the person to make the decision, you know?
I agree with you on that. And I think too, growing up that was, I think that's one of the differences between the generations. And since we're talking about filling a gap, just getting an understanding, I think too, more for my generation that I don't see as much in this one is that there was a greater level of reverence.
Right.
But also, be honest, to be transparent, a greater level of fear.
True.
Because it wasn't just reverencing what the parents said or my mom or dad said. It was fear that if I didn't do it and value what they said, I was going to get my tail tore off.
No, fact.
You know,
no fact.
I would be grounded and get whooped. You know, it wasn't either or. It was both. It was a package deal.
Yeah.
So, you know, in my day, then it wasn't just that. My grandfather would get in on the action. You know, people coming down. I come home. I remember one time in school, I got in trouble coming down the block. Lady looking out the window. She said, I know what happened. I'm like, how you know what happened? I just left school.
Right.
Call my grandfather. My grandfather knew. My dad knew. Guess what? I got 2 whoopers on one day, dude.
But that's when the community and everybody was like,
right.
Everybody had each other back.
Like, they did.
Everybody like knew who lived here, how long they lived here, who their parents were.
Yeah.
Everybody knew everybody on the block. I'm like, you don't got that now.
No. And that's another thing. So when you talk about values, it doesn't just stem from just my generation, just me and you, what we value, but it's how we were brought up.
Right.
You know, and like you said, the whole block, the whole community. When we had neighborhood watch growing up, it was exactly that, neighborhood watch, where everybody valued the block.
Right.
Everybody cared about every young person that was out there on their bike, playing football, playing red light, green light, hide and seek, everything we did on the block, because there were certain values instilled. When the light came on outside, on the porch, or when the street light came on, you knew be in the house.
Yep.
You know, when you got home from school, you changed your clothes and put on your play clothes because your mom didn't want your school clothes getting dirty.
Right.
So there were certain values and, you know, morals that were instilled in us growing up that I really think that kind of slipped through the crack a little bit, you know, through the course of the past generation, your generation, Mel's generation, to the point that when we look in society today, certain values that should be there are not. And not just in the world, even from a Christian standpoint, even in ministry, even in just life in general. we don't reverence, or when we talk about value, we don't reverence or respect those. Even, for example, even the other day I was walking down the street, and I saw a bus go past. How you got elderly people standing up because young folks won't even get up off the seat for elders to sit down. Don't even open the doors going to restaurants anymore.
Right.
So when we talk about value, it's systemic. It's just not my difference, your difference. It's what has been cultivated from generation to generation.
Mm-hmm.
So
that is true. But I also had a question while you were speaking. And I don't know, maybe we could pivot, maybe not. I'm like, so when we talk about value, I was thinking about how do we value when we go to church, right? Or when we enter into like God's presence. Like what does it look like to value his presence, right? Because we can show up, but like since we were just on the topic of value, I'm like, to be able to value his presence is probably way different than just I'm showing up, I'm gonna worship, and I'm gonna leave. But like, what does it mean to like value?
The word says, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." So when we worship, it has to be both spiritual and in truth. So as we look at how we value worship or value his presence, it goes back to our personal relationship, our personal fellowship. What are we doing in our quiet time, our secret time? How are we being intimate,
right,
and treasuring his word? And that's a daily lifestyle. Because when you are, for example, you raised in our house, there were certain things we did every day.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's taking you to school, eating, getting you in the tub, talking with you, doing your homework, certain principles, and going to church, reading the word, praising the word. So those are things that were done on a daily basis, which help you not only to see it, but to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the problem why some people don't value his presence is because we don't take time daily to see it or be a part of it.
That's good.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's and this is one thing I discovered when I was in education and working in mental health. My heart went out to some of the young people because they didn't know how to value what they had because they were in a broken system. Going from spending 2 days in this house, 3 days in another house, and then another 2 days in a grandparent's house. That was their weekly routine. So they never developed the value from a mom or a dad,
right,
on a consistent basis because they were in and out of that household, in and out of the environment. See, that's why the environment is crucial to how you value. If you how can you know how to be in his presence when your present is always messed up? Your environment is always
Wait, that was bars.
Your environment is always contaminated. So,
That's crazy.
It's hard to have your mind right if your mind is infected.
Right.
So if your mind is infected, how do you know that should be valuable to you? Because all you looking at is a fix. And that's part of what's happening. And it goes back to what you said about the pressure. If a young person or a person takes more value in their friend who not going to feed them, who's leading them down the wrong way,
right,
than their parent or even a sibling trying to get them to do the right thing, that means that they're caught up in something that they deem to be more valuable than what they have, which means their understanding of love is distorted. Because love covers a multitude of sin. We know that it's unconditional. But if you don't find yourself consistently being in an environment where you're seeing that on a daily basis, you are allowing the enemy to come in to steal, kill, and destroy.
Yep.
So it's important that, that's why it's important that anytime you look at how people come out of recovery, and we talked about a little bit on a Sunday, we talked about, when you're talking about what's value, what you value can put you in 3 places. Either dead, either on life support, or in recovery. Now that's a spiritual and a a physical, how can I say, way of looking at what you value. Because if you're valuing the wrong thing and to get you in trouble, you're dead to it. You're caught up.
Right.
There may be no hope. If you get locked up, you're in trouble. If something happens, you're in trouble. Life support means that you know the right thing to do, but you're fighting it. You don't want to be right. You don't want to do right. You know you're sneaking out the house because you value what your boyfriend say or your girl say. You know you're drinking, you're smoking, and devaluing what the rules are of your house. And then those who are in recovery, they made a mistake. They turned from it. Now they're doing their best to do what's right because they understand that what they thought was valuable was not. Like the prodigal son. He got some stuff he thought was valuable in the world. But he said, man, let me come into myself. Because what I thought was valuable because of the flesh, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life has gotten me caught up. He said, let me turn and go back home. Because he recognized the world value system is different than God's value system. And I think that's really the true defining factor of what value really is. Whose level of value are we upholding?
Right.
Whose value are we looking at as the blueprint of our life? And that's a game changer.
You're talking about your distorted view on love. Because when the prodigal son came back, his father loved on him. Like it wasn't like disciplinary. It was like, we about to throw a party for you. Right. It's like this love that I don't really understand. I feel like they feel like they can find this love somewhere else. It's this love that it's and comes from God. They're seeking it and trying to find satisfaction in other things that they think is more valuable than the presence of God. Because like the presence of God is the answer to all your problems. But when we go out, it is exactly what you said, that distorted view of love. But I love what you just said about, when you find something valuable, you're gonna do it in your daily life. Right. If you deem being healthy and working out and eating good, your general health valuable, then you're gonna, work out. And it's kind of like a cause and effect. Like this is the reason, and then these are like the side effects of why I do what I do when it's deemed valuable. Like if we believe that this podcast is valuable, then we take the time to put together material, set up, come here, sit down, make videos, because it's valuable. Yeah. So it's just like that outlook of things. But I love that. That was good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a very good point. What do we truly deem to be valuable or carries value? And then when we look at that, whose definition are we upholding? Is it the world's standards of what value is, or is it God's standards of what value is? That's why I says choose you today. Who you gonna serve.
Did you read the definition?
I don't think I did.
I don't think so.
No, we just flowing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think because it's really common. Everybody know what they deem to be valuable. Yeah. But my challenge to everyone is to, just make sure that if you are a believer, that make sure what you're valuing is in God's word. Make sure what you're valuing is what He values, to bring blessing to your life. And that's what the Ten Commandments talked about. That's what it said in Deuteronomy 28 about how you would be blessed and how you would be cursed. But I think that is a game changer. I value your opinion. Right. I value Melody's opinion. I value my wife's opinion. I value what God says in His word. I value what others will say when I seek wisdom from those that I trust. And I think we have to also raise the standard of people who we listen to, that we value, because I think it should start stemming from a person's lifestyle.
Right. Oh, you just said something. Because today I was reading Mark 4, and then Jesus was that dude. He was that dude. And it's crazy because he was saying like in Mark 4, he's like, talking about the parable of the sower. And there's so many people came to see him. And he said he had to get in the boat and be in the water and speak to them from the water because it was so many people. Why? Because they valued what he had to say.
Yeah.
Based off his lifestyle that he lived. So they're like, oh, there's something in you that I value. I want to know what that is, you know, and which is how we should live our daily lives. And then he goes and talks about like, you know, the sower, and you shouldn't be planting it. So he talks about the parable of like how a farmer sows the seed is on like rocky soil.
Right.
Then it's like with thorns. And he was just saying like, you know, the seed is, the soil is our heart, and the seed is the word, and how it should be in us.
Yeah.
You know, and on good soil. And it's not even just in us, but it's in people. Like when we go and we give to people, do certain things unto people to serve people, we're doing this because it's on good ground. This is good soil. Yeah. And that kind of stems to the point of because we value this person, you know?
Yeah. And those who you value, you respect. Those who you respect, you're going to honor. Those who you honor, you're going to uphold or uplift in a positive way.
Yeah.
And there should be something within that person that you want to glean from to help you be a better person. That's the whole purpose of valuing something else, because what you see, what you have means something to you.
Right.
And it means something to you to the point, if it's worth anything to you, you're going to do whatever it takes to make sure you're connected, make sure that it's cherished, make sure that it's not broken.
Protected.
Right. And that's one of the things that I see more young people now beginning to understand than before, is because those who are raising up and they have that relationship with God, or they're doing things a certain way, they're seeing and understanding, no, I value this relationship.
Yeah.
I value that person. I value their time, because it's not just about valuing a person. It's about valuing, when you have an opportunity, that space of time, because time is precious. Time is important. Time, as it says, is but a vapor, but we have to know that and honor that too. It's not just, if we value something, we honor everything, including the time we have with it.
Yep.
So that's good.
You spitting some fire.
That's your mom in the other room praying for me. Thank you, honey. but yeah. So,
Mom, we got a seat for you right here, Mom. She said she good.
She's our back. She's in the back. She's our intercessor. She's our intercessor, praying for us, and praying for you all as well too. And I think one of the things that with those that we minister to, or our mentor, it's just really getting them to transform their mind, like the prodigal son.
Right.
Planting the seed, because one plant the seed, one water it, God gives the increase, right? But if we plant the seed of what value looks like, or if we're the one to water that seed of what value look like, then it's a matter of time before God touches that person's heart or spirit, to have that aha moment, to be able to say, okay, I get it now. No matter me going through a situation like the prodigal son, I understand it now, and I'm ready to surrender to what I need to surrender to, because what I've been given does have value. Right. Sometimes we could be unappreciative of what we have until we go through something. Then we realize, like you said before, man, I had a good thing. I had a good man. I had a good woman. I had a good situation. How did I mess that up? Right. And a lot of time it's listening. It's because we don't place value on it. We value the wrong thing.
We don't see the value of it until it's gone. Then it's like,
yeah. It's like you having a shirt put up in a closet you ain't seen in years, because at that time there was no value. Right. But now you got a brand new pair of slacks, the shirt to go good with it. You're going through all your stuff to find it. And when you find it, it's all wrinkled up, or it don't even fit anymore. Like, dang, I waited too late. Sometimes we got to be quick. We can't wait.
To be honest, I think about when we have, I don't know, when you said that, the first thing that came to my mind was like Michael Jordan. Like, like when he was playing basketball, and it's like, oh, I got Michael Jordan shoes, or I got Michael Jordan jersey, I got a Michael Jordan basketball card. But then he go play baseball. Right. Then it's like, well, I don't know if I want to keep this no more. But then he comes back, and then it's like, oh, yeah, this is more value. But even now, like, what was valuable then is way more valuable now.
Yeah, yeah.
there's something in there. I know you found it. It's something. I know I said something. I don't know what is that. I was trying to find it.
No,
but yeah,
it is, and you use a good example. Even with his shoes, he's
Right.
not playing ball no more, but his shoes are still expensive.
yeah.
You know, not just the Jordans, but the Air Force. I mean, all of
them.
there's value in it. Why? I could see if, no offense, if you ever see this, MJ, no offense, but I could see if he was dead,
Right.
where the value will be what it is now, but he's alive and it's still valuable.
Right.
So it's amazing to see that there's more value on something that's living that we think is more valuable than something that's dead. But then we know somebody who was dead but now is alive, and we still don't want to give him his value.
Hey, you speak. He's speaking today. He's speaking today, yo.
So we have to ask ourselves, what's really in us? Because the word said, "Greater is He that is in us than he that's in the world." What's really in us that we're devaluing? You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Woo. That is it. He said, was dead but not alive. I can't even. You speaking facts today.
No, that's
You speaking facts. Oh my goodness.
because at the end of the day, we have to penetrate the hearts of the generations to really not be afraid,
Right.
to know that it's okay that what others don't value because of the world's system, you do. Because he said you are chosen, you're royal priesthood, you're chosen generation, you're set aside, your royalty. So you have to value that and know that it's okay to be different. It's okay to not be like everyone else. It's okay not to value what they think is important to them, but it's not to you, and be okay with that. And that's what this is all about too. Part of what we're doing, filling the gap, to let people know that everything in my generation wasn't all necessarily correct, that we valued or that we went through, and everything in your generation may be the same way. But let's come together to, again, bridge that gap, fill that gap. So we can say, okay, this is what I learned, this is what you learned. Let's make sense of it.
Yeah.
And know that there's still value, but at the end of the day, the value comes from Him. What we value should be of Him. And even if we're like the prodigal son and we got to come back, it's okay. He valued us to do what He did so that we can come back.
Right.
At the end of the day, He valued us that much so we could come back. So it says, don't let anything separate us in Romans chapter 8. Nothing, depth, height, nothing separate us. If we value what He says that much, that's all we need, So
Yeah, I'm just listening right now. Y'all, welcome to Filling the Gap. This is Malik, and we're gonna be questioning Apostle Clarence Brookins right here. This how I feel right now, because he just spin facts. I'm just like, I'm just here just listening, like, wow, that's good.
Well, we're gonna be wrapping up anyway until next week. So next week we got a good one too. Next week though, but we don't want to spill the beans on that yet. But
so we could just stem into the comments.
Yeah.
For all those who are watching on YouTube and also listening on a podcast on Buzzsprout or Spotify or Apple Music, put it in the comments. Put in the comments. What do you deem valuable? What is valuable to you?
Yeah. And I think that's something to reflect on, something for you to think about, as we're going to continue to think about that as well, because you should never let another day go by without reassessing your priorities in your life, so you'll know, okay, this should be first, or this should be second, or let me rethink this because maybe I'm missing out because I have my volume system is messed up. What I value to be 1 should be 2 and 3 should be 5. So reflect on that, and hey, hit us up. Let us know, DM us what your thoughts are if you've appreciated this one. We thank God for your support. Remember, continue to subscribe, continue to connect, continue to reach out. Reach out to me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Clarence_Brookins.
And Malik_Brookins. Yeah. That too.
That's it.
Yeah. Until next time.
Y'all be blessed. Peace out.